Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. Anthony Joshua is gone from the WBC top 15, and Alexander Povetkin and Oscar Rivas have both leapt up a number of places in the latest update to the top 15. But we'll start at the top with Dillian Whyte, who is still in somewhat of a limbo. His WBC mandatory status as well as the interim world title that he won back on July 20 are currently suspended by the WBC, and that is not to say he's suspended from fighting, but those two honours by the WBC are currently sort of on ice as the sanctioning body awaits more information in relation to a test from June 17th, a UCAD sample which had an issue with it. As we know, he fronted a hearing just hours before the fight, was cleared to fight, and we're still waiting on more information. But the WBC has put those two things, the mandatory status and the interim title, on ice for now as it waits for more information. We've heard from Eddie Hearn, Whyte's promoter, that they have been trying to work with UCAD to sort of get the process sped up to get some information out in the public in October and try to clear his name and make the sort of facts clear for everyone to see about what's actually gone on. Because at the moment, obviously, there's all we can do is speculate as to what's happened, because the main players involved are not really saying much, except we do know there was an issue with a sample taken on June 17. So at the moment, Whyte obviously in limbo and off doing things like MasterChef, but he is free to fight. And Eddie Hearn has spoken about just in the past couple of days that potentially he could return on the Saudi Arabia card headed by Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr. And he could be on that undercard. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. At number 2, and remaining at number 2, is Tyson Fury. As we know, he just had a fight with Otto Wallen this past weekend. He won that. It was a bit more competitive than many expected, in part because of the cut, but he got the win. He's had some surgery on those two cuts over his right eye, but he's on to the next one, which is expected to be against Deontay Wilder in February 2020. But Luis Ortiz, who's at number 3, up one spot, will have something to say about that, no doubt about it. He is due to face Deontay Wilder. The date has not been announced yet. It's expected by the end of September and it's set to be November 23rd. That is what has been out in public. What is the hold up here in terms of making this fight, announcing this fight? They're only leaving themselves with a couple of months to promote it, sell the tickets, build the hype, which is actually cutting it quite fine. I've heard all manner of things from Ortiz potentially not being able to pass a medical. That's one of the rumors going around. But also, can they find the money to pay both guys? Obviously, back 18 months ago, there was $2.6 million in purses that were on offer, $2.1 million to Wilder, $500,000 to Luis Ortiz. Ortiz turned down, $6 or $7 million to face Anthony Joshua just a few months ago. So his price, no doubt, would have gone up. So we'll have to see where all that goes. But in terms of Anthony Joshua, he had been at number 3 in the rankings, but he is gone now. And it's not because he didn't sign up to the clean boxing program, nothing like that. It's because he is now confirmed to be facing Andy Ruiz Jr. in the rematch. And as per the WBC's rules, as soon as someone is facing for a title in another sanctioning body, they are no longer eligible to be in the rankings. So that explains Joshua dipping out. So he was in for July and August, but now for September comes out. Number 4, Alexander Povetkin is up 3 places this month, and that's courtesy of his win over Hughie Fury. So while Povetkin at 40 years old does appear to be slowing down and on the slide, still managing to get the job done and up 3 places this month. Talk he will face Michael Hunter potentially at the end of the year on the Joshua and Ruiz undercard, but we shall see. Eddie Hearn also mentioned Povetkin could be an option for the Monte Carlo card coming up in a month or so. At number 5, holding firm is Adam Kovnatsky, and at the moment it feels like Adam Kovnatsky is a bit of a sort of third wheel here. He's primed for a title shot potentially in the WBC, potentially against Deontay Wilder, but now he waits. Recently fought Chris Arreola, but hopefully he would step it up from that level in his next fight. Will we see him in 2019 again? Remains to be seen. Joseph Parker, he holds firm at number 6. He is fighting Derek Chisora, who's ranked further down the rankings here, on October the 26th. That's on that card that's headlined by Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis. At number 7, Kubrat Pulev. He is supposedly meant to be fighting again in 2019. Obviously, he's just cleared that sort of situation with Jenny Sushi. He's got his license back in California, which allows him to fight anywhere within the United States. Whether he fights in 2019 and whether it's anyone we want to see him against, well, we'll have to see. And that's kind of a sort of a catchphrase for this video. We'll have to see. There's lots of balls in the air for a lot of these fighters. At number 8, Oscar Rivas, who is up 5 places since last month. He was 13th last month, up 5 places. How and why? It's a good question. I haven't heard anyone from the WBC explain that. After his loss to Dillian Whyte, he tumbled down the rankings. He was quite high up, and now he's seemingly got a bump for whatever reason, back to number 8. At 9, Derek Chisora, as I said, fighting Joseph Parker in October. Filip Hrgovic, he's just come off a recent win over Mario Heredia. He's up 1 place this month. At 11 is Arjet Kabayel. He's down 3 places. Seemingly his inactivity is costing him, but he has just signed a co-promotional deal with ESPN and Top Rank with his current promoters, SES, so we'll see if they can get him into the ring sooner rather than later. They're talking potentially 2019 or early 2020. Joe Joyce meant to have a fight announced in just a couple of days. Dominic Breazeale holding firm in the rankings. He's actually up 1 spot this month, number 13. At number 14, Michael Hunter, coming off a very good win over Sergey Kuzmin. And rounding out the top 15 is a new entrant in Charles Martin. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.